They say power changes you, but for Lily, it did something far stranger. It turned her into someone she could finally be, and someone the world could never understand. Once a man, now a wandering Blade Maiden, her sword doesn't just cut through demons, it cuts through the loneliness of her own reflection. Every step she takes feels like a prayer, for strength, for freedom, for the sister she swore to save. But tonight, beneath the crimson rain, she's not just fighting monsters, she's fighting the part of herself she's afraid to become. This is Kagami Lily, the Crimson Arc, a tale of rebirth, tragedy, and impossible tenderness. And if you stay until the end, I'll tell you how you can choose the next story we bring to life. So don't blink, because in this world, even a single heartbeat can change everything. Chapter 71. Lily hears the name Blade Maiden and notices her Seiwa Tamashi humming with new red runes. Its aura has shifted from righteous to strangely eldritch. The possibility that her body carries a Blade Maiden attribute hits her like a revelation. Memories of arriving in this other world, seeing a woman who could trample on demons and the moon, and the sudden refusal to feel inferior because of her gender all rush back. The narrative lingers on Lily, studying her new female body. Delicate hands, womanly curves, and the image of Wasugi Rei, an invincible Valkyrie, occupies her thoughts as both aspiration and benchmark. She wonders if becoming like Rei would let her travel the world and wake her senior sister, asking herself directly whether she has the potential. This is a quiet but powerful inward turn, body, ambition, and memory braided together. Suddenly, the Sakura parasol, a familiar Shikigami, springs to life and remembers crucial lore. Lily's red spirit power is not mere eldritch energy, but the Blade Maiden attribute, a rare, overwhelming soul attribute that can make secret scripture and runes appear on a sword. Sakura explains that attributes, lightning, ice, fire, etc., are inborn advantages, and Blade Maiden is uniquely potent, a mix of innocence and allure, good and evil. The exposition is fast but essential. It upgrades the stakes by making Lily's power not only rare, but storied. The author handled this info dump well. The parasol's personality keeps it fun and urgent. Lily quickly shifts back into crisis mode. She orders Sakura to check on Granny and then hauls the unconscious female ninja, Shiu, into the log storage. Although adept in fighting, Lily admits she has no interrogation or binding experience. She conjures the image of Wasugi Rei as a spur to learn. After a sweaty, earnest struggle, Lily improvises a complex crisscross rope bind and suspends Shiu from a beam. The scene balances competence with vulnerability. Lily can fight, but she still has to grow in other practical skills. Watching her flail, then succeed, feels human and earned. Confrontation arrives as Shiu wakes, dizzy and spinning. Lily forces answers, demanding name, client, and motive, and threatens lethal retribution if Shiu weren't a woman. Shiu sputters, claims ignorance and fear, and refuses to answer at first. The interrogation sets up imminent revelation. Either Shiu cracks and exposes Daiduji's plot, or she remains a cryptic obstacle. Tension hangs in the air. Lily's resolve is sharpened by righteous anger and the newly discovered Blade Maiden potential that now fuels her confidence. It's easy to root for Lily to outsmart this assassin. The stakes and tension are gripping. Chapter 72. Lily's interrogation. In the dim wood storage, Shiu hangs bound, sweat dripping under the drug's effect and her nerves. The scene underscores how women in this world are often victims of cruelty. But this time, it's another woman holding the power. Lily questions her name and motives, searching through the remnants of her clothes. Lily steels herself despite embarrassment, reminding herself she needs money for strength, clothes, and survival in this hostile world. She resolves to use her captive's resources, even while blushing at the thought. The moral compromise weighs on her, yet her determination to free her senior sister keeps her going. Finding Shiu's purse, Lily lights up at the 51 con inside, pocketing it without guilt. She justifies it. The Fuma clan targeted her first, so why show mercy? Shu can only hang there, powerless and humiliated. Beyond coins, Lily confiscates Shu's ninja sword, shurikens, and even a mission book. Shu despairs, realizing she was outmatched from the start against a Blade Maiden. When Lily spots a wooden tag reading Yagyu, Shu clumsily denies her real name, betraying her lack of wit. Then comes a lighter moment. Lily admires Shu's stocking garters, wishing she could afford some to make herself look more confident in public. It's a small, very human detail in the middle of interrogation. That little detail about stockings feels like a breather. It softens the tension while reminding us these characters are still human. Sakura Parasol barges in, teasing Lily as if she'd walked in on something indecent. Lily panics, insisting it's just interrogation, while Shu screams at the monster umbrella. Sakura, indignant, whips her and forces an apology. For a moment, it even feels like Sakura holds more authority than Lily. The parasol's sharp humor keeps the tone lively and balances the tension. Chapter 73. The Tragedy of Female Ninjas in Heian Era. Lily confronts the aftermath of the attack and focuses on how to deal with Shu, the captured female ninja. Despite being the victim, she feels strangely ashamed of the situation, already showing how emotionally complex this chapter's going to be. Sakura explains that the old woman they rescued ran to the dojo for help, but Lily remains distracted, mentally preparing for the punishment of Shu. She coldly threatens to hand her over to the samurai authorities. Shu panics immediately, tears flooding her eyes as she begs not to be sent to the officials. When Lily demands an explanation, Shu delivers a horrifying truth. Beautiful female ninjas aren't treated like regular criminals. They're abused, raped, and eventually executed, often secretly. The author doesn't sugarcoat the cruelty of that world. This moment lands as pure tragedy. Lily is visibly shaken. Even in this cruel world, she hadn't expected this level of depravity. But she remembers how unfairly even she was treated by noble clans. So Shu's story, unfortunately, tracks. Desperate, Shu pledges complete loyalty. She offers to serve Lily for life, even calling her big sister. Lily feels the rage from earlier battles dissolve into sympathy. Shu's just a pawn in a larger, uglier system. With her emotions masked by disgust, Lily plays the role of cold dominator, calling Shu a slut, but saying she can't bear to see a beauty like her ruined by corrupt men. Shu clings to hope and pledges full loyalty, knowing even returning to her own clan means a brutal death. Lily reflects, these heroic-looking female ninjas are often victims themselves, trapped in a cruel system with no right outcome. If they succeed, they serve. If they fail, they suffer. Their beauty becomes their curse. Shu continues, now seeing Lily as her savior. She blushes, bound and under drug effects, begging to serve her. Lily recoils, not because of disgust, but because she feels that same heat rising within her. Lily, flustered and morally conflicted, throws the responsibility to Sakura and runs outside to cool down, affirming that she didn't become Shu's master out of lust, but mercy. The restraint and emotional layers here make the scene quietly powerful. Outside, Lily hears Sakura whipping Shu and scolding her for insults. Weirdly enough, Lily's relieved. At least it's just discipline, not torture. Then she hears the reinforcements arrive, including Master Sakiko. The chapter closes on emotional exhaustion and relief, a brief calm after intense turmoil. Chapter 74. Name Change. Lily is greeted by Lady Sakiko and a group of samurai as she walks back toward the Chrysanthemum Inn. Sakiko fusses over her safety, clearly shaken by what could have happened. When Lily apologizes for the inn's destruction, Sakiko brushes it off and insists Lily stay at the dojo from now on for her safety. Lily is thrilled, both for the protection and the ideal training environment. Sakiko's shock grows when Lily admits the attackers were likely from the Fuma clan, and she handled them mostly solo. Lily's quiet strength is beginning to show itself, and Sakiko's curiosity about her hidden potential deepens. The dojo master clearly senses Lily's rising talent beneath her modesty. When Lily hesitates to let Sakiko interrogate the captured ninja, Sakiko backs off, surprisingly respecting Lily's decision. She warns her, though, kindness like hers could be dangerous in this world. Lily appreciates the warning, but insists she has her own reasons. Soon, elite dojo samurai arrive, muscular, intimidating, and way stronger than anyone Lily's faced before. She realizes just how massive the dojo's power is. Sakiko's fury against the Fuma clan burns bright as she vows to take care of the matter. Meanwhile, two ninjas Lily knocked out are found alive, unlucky souls about to experience Sakiko's interrogation. Back in the storage house, Shu's still hanging, crying, thanking Lily for sparing her from a worse fate. She begs to be punished, mistakenly thinking it's part of Lily's fetish, thanks to Sakura's mischief. Sakura's comic timing lightens the tension just when it risks turning too heavy. Lily calms her, gently brushing Shu's hair and telling her she understands. Shu didn't have a choice. Now that she's pledged loyalty, what Lily wants is sincerity, not shame or self-hatred. Then, Lily suggests giving her a new name, Yagyu Shu. The offer breaks Shu emotionally. She sees it not just as a name, but as a rebirth. Her gratitude overflows in dramatic devotion. Watching this transformation is quietly satisfying. Giving her back her name feels like a healing moment. Shu tells Lily a proper master should be commanding and proud. Lily's left baffled, realizing Shu is the one teaching her how to be a master now. The irony is not lost on her. Suddenly, Nanako bursts in, only to freeze at the suspicious scene of Lily, blushing, next to a half-dressed Shu tied up under a beam. Nanako's shocked interruption lands like a soap opera twist, breaking the tension with humor. Nanako bolts, muttering, "Sorry for disturbing," and Lily panics, chasing after her in rare, commanding fury. What follows is a family-like confrontation. Half an hour later, Lily lectures the two like an annoyed big sister. Nanako's bitter about being the weakest, while Shu excitedly calls her senior and begs for guidance on serving their master. Nanako snaps. The dynamic feels like siblings bickering, funny yet warm. Lily sighs, exasperated at how quickly the situation spiraled. She warns that Shu's betrayal of Fuma means she's in danger now. They'll all move to the dojo starting tomorrow. Though Lily claimed she wouldn't sleep, she ends up resting her head on Shu's lap. Nanako, jealous and suspicious, watches over them silently. Not to protect Lily, but because she can't lose her chance for revenge. Even Nanako isn't sure if her feelings are real revenge or something more complicated. Chapter 75. Female Samurai. At dawn, Lily, Nanako, and Shu approached the Genji dojo under mist and silence, only to find the place heavily guarded after last night's incident. The atmosphere inside was intense, dozens of disciplined samurai lining the hall, radiating authority. Suddenly, the dojo's elites entered, their power suffocating. Lily could sense that each of them could crush her in an instant. Then, 3 more arrived: Sakiko, a gray-haired elder, and a strikingly handsome young man, Ashikaga Kiyoshi. The moment his identity was revealed as one of the famed 6 Swords of East Nation, even Nanako whispered in disbelief. When Lily's name was the first called, her nerves shook, but she carried herself with elegance, every step deliberate and refined. Ashikaga Kiyoshi himself handed her the appointment scroll, his gaze lingering too long, entranced by her presence. The tension here feels almost ceremonial. Power meeting grace in quiet recognition. Sakiko then presented Lily with a green magatama, symbolizing her new status. Her words carried genuine pride. Another female samurai with promise. Lily's emotions surged, flashes of everything she had endured since arriving in this world, all leading to this moment. And so, with scroll and magatama in hand, Lily had taken her first true step into the path she once swore beneath the stars. becoming a female samurai. The ceremony wasn't just politics, it was Lily's soul finding its place. Chapter 76. The Six Swords of the Eastern Nation. After the ceremony, Lily and Nanako left the hall, but curiosity tugged at Lily. She finally asked what the Six Swords of the Eastern Nation meant. Nanako explained with pride. 6 unrivaled young samurai who represented the peak of their generation. Nanako's enthusiasm gives the explanation a sense of wonder and grandeur. She listed them one by one. Hojo Dijon, Ashikaga Kiyoshi, whom Lily just met, Taira Hachiru, Itagaki Nobuyoshi, the goddess of war Wasugi Rei, and at the very top, Minamoto no Shimizu. When Nanako revealed that the 2 strongest were women, Lily was shaken. Hearing Wasugi Rei's name stunned Lily. The realization hit hard. The same cold, gorgeous warrior who had stolen her first kiss was not only famous, but ranked above Kiyoshi himself. Lily felt the distance like a mountain she could never climb. Nanako teased Lily out of her daze, but Lily's mind still lingered on Rei's overwhelming aura. Almost absent-mindedly, she touched her lips, her body betraying a mix of shame and arousal. This moment of vulnerability makes Lily feel deeply human. Regaining composure, Lily excused herself and went to the dojo's shop district. She sold leftover animas for pocket money and then brought out Daiduji's heirloom bead. The appraiser explained its history. Once precious, its value had been corroded by resentment, only purified slightly by Lily's innocence. He offered 100 kan. Lily hesitated, disappointed at the low price compared to its dramatic background. The tarnished heirloom subtly mirrors how pride and resentment can destroy legacy. Still, she sold it, walking away with newfound wealth, 169 kan total. Compared to farmers who barely earned 1 kan a year, she was suddenly rich. Finally, Lily visited the Chamber of Secret Techniques, where a Buddhist priest presented various sword styles. Though tempted by other schools, she chose the legendary Genji sword style, written by Yoshitsune himself, paying 100 kan without hesitation. Lily's choice shows her seriousness, investing in mastery, not comfort. Chapter 77. Living in the dojo, Akira and his group take shelter outside town, licking their wounds after their botched assassination plot. He's furious, not just because the plan failed, but because the mastermind behind the Genji dojo was that old lady at the inn. He severely underestimated Lily. Hiroko's worried about her lost dowry, but Akira's more concerned with the fallout. The Fuma clan now demands medicinal herbs as compensation for their dead. They're going to bleed his trade dry for 3 whole years. Akira rants about his losses. The heirloom, Noboru's death, the wasted Onmyoji fees. Yet he still won't risk another attack. Lily's too protected now. He's cornered. But before he can even cool off, an overwhelming presence arrives from the east. A massive, intimidating man leads a group of 60 samurai. Towering at nearly 3 meters, this blue-robed giant radiates royal authority. That man is none other than Hojo Dijon, one of the 6 swords of the Eastern Nation. The introduction of Dijon shifts the tone. His presence alone feels like the onset of a storm. Alongside him is Hojo Motoshige. Yes, that cousin who once tried to test Lily and got shown up by her blade. The drama is not over yet. Meanwhile, in complete contrast, Lily, Nanako, and Shiu arrive at the Genji dojo with Lady Sakiko. Their new residence is simple, serene, and filled with natural beauty, especially the blooming sakura tree in the backyard. The shift from chaos to peace is a welcome breath. The scene radiates calm. The 100-year-old tree blooms in all seasons, and Lily instantly feels connected to it. She finally finds a place that feels like home, a gentle shift from survival to serenity. Sakiko teases Lily with a flirtatious pat on the butt, causing her to blush and panic inwardly, trying not to lose face in front of her younger sisters. A touch of humor adds warmth to the mentor-student bond. Despite the awkwardness, Lily accepts Sakiko's invitation to tea the next day, eager to learn the tea ceremony. Nanako, always eager to be included, excitedly asks to join too. Sakiko welcomes her with a smile, showing there's room for all of them, strength, status, or sass aside. Chapter 78, Hojo Dijon. By twilight, the Hojo clan's forces, over 60 elite samurai, camped outside Takeshita town. Standing like a mythical general, Hojo Dijon, the giant, towers beside Akira and Hojo Ujinori. His voice, regal and ancient, orders the hunt for a mysterious man on Mount Awame. Among the encampment sit Matsuda Nagahide and his crew, looking like outsiders. Meanwhile, Akira sucks up to Dijon, desperate to stay useful. Dijon requests Akira escort Motoshige to Suruga to buy firearms. Not an easy task, given the Sayonji family's refusal to sell to outsiders. Akira reluctantly agrees. Motoshige, clearly annoyed at needing help from a merchant, swallows his pride. When Akira hints about the cost of the guns, Dijon shuts him down instantly, his wealth and power emphasized through action rather than speech. As the scene shifts, a mysterious veiled woman on horseback appears with a samurai escort. Suspicious, Motoshige halts them. The samurai claims the woman is his wife, but Motoshige demands she drink with Dijon as a courtesy. The cruelty of this world feels disturbingly normalized here. When the samurai refuses, Dijon's men surround him. Powerless and outnumbered, the man backs down. His wife reveals her beauty and, in shame, drinks with Dijon under watch. Her seductiveness mixes with despair. The husband, humiliated and broken, finally snaps. He charges Dijon, yelling, "Slut! Prepare to die!" But Dijon flicks his sword, just 30 centimeters unsheathed, blasting the man into a tree with sheer force. The wife dies too, accidentally, crushed by Dijon's casual shove. Then, cold as winter wind, Dijon orders the slaughter of all their terrified servants. This scene captures the sheer horror of power without restraint. Nagahide and his comrades witness everything. They hate Dijon's cruelty, but are paralyzed by status. Dijon's bloodlust is daily routine. To him, life and death are mere pastimes. As dusk falls, Dijon drinks alone, but a cold feminine voice calls to him from the trees. A masked girl appears, a Prajna messenger, cloaked in shadows, delivering a cryptic warning about someone with an ancient mirror. Dijon scoffs, demanding she unmask and drink with him instead. When she refuses, he flashes his blade and threatens her life, but she vanishes like mist, leaving Dijon restless and irritated. The mystery of the ancient mirror adds an ominous, mythic weight to the coming events. As the red sun sets behind the mountains, the air thickens with dread. Dijon stands, sword ready, already haunted by something more than ghosts, maybe by what's coming next. Chapter 79, Genji Sword Style. At night, while the dojo was hushed and empty, Lily couldn't resist pulling out the Genji sword style and reading under the ancient sakura tree. She expected flashy sword techniques, but instead found methods to release raw force and amplify base strength. The manual explained, Stage 1 boosts strength by 50%, Stage 2 doubles it, and Stage 3 increases it to 2.5 times. Lily was floored. This wasn't about style. It was about overwhelming force. Stage 1 already makes her way stronger, but by Stage 3, we're talking almost 2.5 times her base strength. The difference between cutting iron and cutting through entire walls. No wonder Lily was shocked. Yoshitsune's philosophy was blunt. No time for fancy flourishes in battle, just one decisive strike to end it. Lily admired his practicality and felt deep respect. Still, the clan tightly guarded the manuals, and Lily knew she couldn't share her copy with anyone, not even Nanako. The Genji's rules were absolute, punishments ruthless. The tension of secrecy heightens the danger. The style also taught channeling force through different parts of the body. Legs for bursts of speed, waist for sudden turns, torso for agility. Lily realized her already formidable body could become terrifying if enhanced this way, but Yoshitsune stressed, only after mastering stage 3 should one create their own techniques or risk flailing pointlessly. Lily agreed wholeheartedly, admiring his wisdom. Eager to try, she practiced late into the night, sweat soaking her robes. Despite glimpses of insight, progress was agonizingly slow, barely a 1% boost after countless swings. It's a reminder that even talent must bow to perseverance. Exhausted, breath misting in the cold, Lily finally set her sword down. She promised herself rest before her tea ceremony lesson tomorrow, cheeks flushed with effort. Chapter 80. Nanako's Samurai Heart. Nanako sat in her room, peeking at Lily's relentless training through the door. She admitted Lily had undeniable talent, though it frustrated her to no end. She tried to remind herself Lily wasn't her sister, but her heart twisted with conflict. Unwilling to serve, yet unwilling to dominate someone so effortlessly feminine and strong. Nanako schemed about how to regain her freedom and pride, imagining Lily kneeling before her, even dragging her around with reins. Thoughts of her mother only fueled the pressure. What if Kotoka found out her daughter was someone's slave? She resolved to seize her chance the moment Lily asked her to bathe together. If Lily stripped her guard away, Nanako would force a reversal of their contract. Her thoughts grow darker, pride and longing tangled beyond reason. Brimming with confidence after weeks of not being disciplined, Nanako's rebellious energy boiled over. She almost couldn't contain herself, teetering on the edge of acting out. When Lily finally approached after training, Nanako pretended to sleep. Then came Lily's hesitant request. "Nanako, can you help me wash my body tonight?" Nanako's heart raced. Her long-awaited opportunity had arrived. Chapter 81. Lily's Bath and Nanako's Scheme. Lily, exhausted from sword training, returned soaked in sweat, her yukata clinging to every curve. Nanako, eyes gleaming with mischief, volunteers to help her bathe. Lily, flustered but committed to preserving her master status, agrees to let Nanako assist, even though Nanako's gaze makes her incredibly self-conscious. Despite being technically in charge, Lily quickly feels like she's the one being commanded. They head to the courtyard's secluded bath, a stone and wood setup that feels peaceful, spiritual even. But the tension builds as Nanako bluntly orders Lily to undress. Lily tries to maintain her dignity, lifting her arms gracefully like a noble lady, but Nanako strips her with rough efficiency. Despite Lily's embarrassment, she forces herself to endure it, believing this is part of being a proper master. She enters the wooden barrel filled with warm water and scattered sakura petals, finally letting herself relax. As Lily slips into blissful sleep, Nanako is overwhelmed. This is the moment she's long schemed for, a chance to humiliate Lily, prove she doesn't deserve to be master, and reclaim her pride. But as she looks down at the sleeping Lily, something shifts. This isn't an enemy before her, but someone who trusts her completely. Unable to violate Lily's trust while she sleeps, Nanako pulls back. She cleans Lily gently instead, red-faced and confused. In a final, quiet moment, she sniffs Lily's clothes with a pounding heart, unsure if her emotions stem from resentment, admiration, or something deeper. Nanako whispers to herself that next time, Lily better be awake. But in that moment, she's no longer just a rival. She's something closer, softer, and far more dangerous. Chapter 82. The Nameless Tea Utensil. Lily wakes up, clean, dressed, and confused, clearly tucked into bed by someone else. She vaguely recalls the bath, but can't piece it together. Shu quickly confesses. She and Nanako dried and dressed Lily without permission after she passed out. Shu practically begs for punishment, even blushing and drooling. But Lily, half embarrassed, half annoyed, refuses, knowing full well that not punishing Shu is the best punishment of all. After getting ready, Lily heads into town to buy a tea utensil for her upcoming lesson with Lady Sakiko. She passes through a quiet street near the river, eventually stopping at a modest tea shop with an elderly Chajin inside. Browsing the shelves, Lily's eyes settle on a plain white porcelain teacup. No decoration, no color. Just quiet purity. She's strangely drawn to it. The simple beauty of the cup mirrors Lily's own quiet transformation. The Chajin tells her it's a grade 2 tea utensil, surprisingly high for such a humble piece. Even more curious, the cup has no name, and the craftsman chose not to sign it. Lily smiles and softly declares, "Then I'll call it nameless." Despite being low on money, Lily pays 15 cane for the teacup, knowing that quality reflects her dedication. But on the way home, she impulsively buys new kimonos, including a short-skirted one. Realizing she spent more on clothes than the actual tea utensil, Lily is briefly horrified. But with only 2 nice outfits to her name, she shrugs it off. Her choices, both impulsive and sincere, show how she's learning to live, not just survive. As she returns to the dojo, coin pouch light and heart a little heavier, Lily reflects on her femininity and her journey. She may have started this world as a man, but there's no denying she's someone new now. Chapter 83. Tea intent, Lily and Nanako arrive together at Sakiko's refined courtyard, playing the role of sisters to protect the Sayonji family's honor. Yet Lily felt Nanako's strange glances, as if she carried some hidden scheme. Inside, Sakiko examined their tea utensils. Nanako proudly revealed the sand mist, a grade 4 heirloom gifted to her clan centuries ago. Lily, embarrassed, only had a grade 2 white porcelain cup she'd bought by the riverbank. Sakiko praised Lily's spotless and incorruptible cup, even joking that punishment was owed for her modest choice. Lily blushed, mortified, but Sakiko reassured her, saying beginners didn't need rare treasures, and that fate might soon bless her in Chado. Sakiko's mix of teasing and wisdom reveals both her strength and warmth as a mentor. The lesson began. Sakiko explained that Chado wasn't just elegance, but a noble technique equal to archery or riding. Its purpose was to calm the heart, erase inner demons, and unlock clarity. Through her teaching, even something as delicate as tea becomes a weapon for the spirit. Then Sakiko revealed the true depth. Chado nurtures intent, the harmony of mind and body. This intent is what allows a samurai to grasp ultimate sword techniques. Lily was stunned, realizing why Genji's sword style never detailed ultimates. They could only be born from one's unique intent. Nanako cut in sharply, mocking Lily's ignorance, though Sakiko softened it by agreeing with her point. Lily reflected quietly, shaken but inspired. If intent defined one's ultimate path, then what was hers? Chapter 84. Tea and Sword. The room glowed softly with filtered sunlight as Sakiko performed Chido, every gesture elegant and deliberate. Lily couldn't help but admire her refined beauty, yet a pang of jealousy stirred when she wondered if Sakiko was married. Sakiko's hands moved with serene grace, whisking tea with perfect rhythm. When Lily finally drank, the warmth spread through her body, the whole act feeling like a spiritual ritual. The author turns a simple cup of tea into a moment of quiet transcendence. Then came the drama. Nanako deliberately drank from the exact spot Lily had touched, making Lily fluster at the thought of an indirect kiss. Days passed with Lily splitting her time between sword practice, spirit power cultivation, and Chado. Despite her dedication, progress in sword techniques frustrated her, but tea always seemed to calm her restless heart. One afternoon, while practicing Chado alone, Lily's delicate motions with the whisk inspired her. Ripples in the tea mirrored how she might channel spirit power. Water, waves, softness. This was her path. The metaphor is subtle but powerful, art and combat reflecting one another. Overcome with urgency, Lily begged to leave mid-lesson, dashing off to test her insight despite Sakiko's playful warning of punishment. Sakiko, watching, was astonished at her natural talent. Rushing out, Lily literally bumped into Nanako, chest first, leaving the girl dazed and grumpy. Nanako muttered about the rude big-breasted woman, her pride clearly bruised. Chapter 85. Genji Sword Style's First Stage. Under the ancient sakura tree, Lily trains with Seiwa Tamashi, her spirit power flowing like water through her body. With one elegant slash, the petals around her scatter. Genji Sword Style's first stage, accomplished. Not only has she grasped the basics, she's revolutionized them. By adapting the technique to suit a woman's body, Lily sidesteps the very bottleneck that holds back countless female samurai. Dripping with sweat, Lily cools herself in the wind, proud yet calm. She's unaware that accomplishing this in 5 days would shock even the top brass of the Genji dojo. But right now, she's just craving a bath. Instead of retreating, Lily leans into her role, calling for both Shu and Nanako to bathe her. It's a power move cloaked in practicality. They'll compete for her favor and keep each other in check. Meanwhile, in the shadowed mists outside Takeshita town, Akira and Hojo Motoshigi return from a disastrous trip to Suruga. They couldn't buy a single firearm. Why? Because Sayonji Kotoka shut them down hard. Kotoka's decisive refusal reinforces her image as a calculating and powerful woman. Fuming and humiliated, Motoshish curses her, blaming classism, clan favoritism, and her fake virtue. But the price of failure is heavy. Lord Hojo Dijon is expecting 20 firearms, and he does not tolerate excuses. Worse yet, Motoshige's entire motivation is laid bare. He wants access to the Hojo clan's secret spirit refinement technique. Without spirit power, he'll remain a glorified footnote, strong but mortal. His ambition reveals both the hunger and tragedy of men chasing unreachable power. Motoshige begins to spiral. His pride is wounded, his future uncertain. And Akira, ever the unlucky opportunist, starts blaming Lily for every misfortune that's befallen him since meeting her. Akira rages in silence, but rage without power is useless, and he knows it. Lily has unknowingly ignited a storm headed her way, and the men she embarrassed aren't likely to forget. Chapter 86. The Female Samurai's Vassal. Beneath a veil of clouds and moonlight, Lily walks between Nanako and Shu toward the secluded bath, trying to convince herself it's perfectly normal to be waited on like a noblewoman. Still, her blushing cheeks betray her inner turmoil. As her body sinks into the sakura, petal-filled bath, she catches the contrast in their expressions. Shu's unfiltered awe and Nanako's barely hidden gloom. That painful disparity pierces Lily's heart. Reflecting on a past tea ceremony lesson with Sakiko, Lily recalls the Heian custom. Defeated foes can either serve as slaves or be offered the dignity of becoming vassals. Regret washes over her. She never gave Shu that choice. Now, with her strength rising beyond the realm of ordinary samurai, Lily realizes it's time to right that wrong. Resolved, Lily decides to officially make Shu and Nanako her vassals. A step that restores honor, offers autonomy, and aligns with her senior sister's ideals. It's leadership through compassion, not control. Meanwhile, Nanako and Shu tend to her bath. While Shu excels with excited devotion, Nanako grumbles from the side, clearly still bitter about her place. Shu, ever the overly enthusiastic ninja, proudly lists satisfying master's odd interests as part of her duties, to which Nanako fires back, appalled. Lily, overwhelmed by their ridiculous dynamic, stays quiet and just stretches her arms out like a flustered queen. After the bath, Lily gracefully thanks them, but Nanako's silence and narrowed eyes scream suspicion. When Lily invites them to her room, Shu's imagination runs wild, assuming it's finally that kind of summoning. Lily, amused and a little exasperated, reassures them. No funny business, just an important matter to discuss. Her tone softens into a smile as she prepares to change their roles and their futures. Chapter 87. The Late Night's Frigid Moon. Late at night, Lily put on her new pink yukata and summoned Nanako and Shu. Shu, nervous and blushing, assumed Lily wanted something indecent, while Nanako simmered with silent irritation. Lily quickly clarified her intentions and announced what she thought would be good news. They were free. No more slavery, only the choice to be her vassals. But instead of joy, confusion filled the room. Xiu clung to Lily, crying that she didn't care about freedom, only about serving her. Nanako, on the other hand, reacted with suspicion, reminding Lily that they had signed a slave contract. Lily even handed the contract back, expecting gratitude. Instead of accepting, Nanako's eyes darkened. She rejected Lily's offer to be a vassal and coldly declared their contract ended. Without hesitation, she walked out into the moonlight, hiding wet eyes behind harsh words. The distance between pride and affection has never felt sharper. Lily was stunned, chasing after her, only to trip and fall face first in the dirt, while Nanako disappeared into the dark. The comedy of the fall contrasted brutally with the heartbreak, a stumble both physical and emotional. Meanwhile, Nanako ran through the mountain path, cursing Lily as stupid, while sobbing uncontrollably. Her pride as a Saionji clashed with her hidden attachment, making her departure both defiant and tragic. Back in the dojo, Xiu knelt loyally, declaring she'd remain Lily's slave no matter what. Lily hugged her, drenched in moonlight and sorrow, her yukata stained with mud. At the same time, Nanako vanished into the night, right as Hojo Motoshige and Akira, returning from Suruga province, approached Takeshita town. The emotional fallout perfectly sets the stage for the next storm to come. Chapter 88, Night Walk Under the Autumn Rain. The chapter opens on a stormy night. Lily, worried sick, realizes Nanako ran off without an umbrella. Despite Shu's pleas to follow, Lily insists she stay behind, her anxiety laced with a bad premonition. After Shu helps her change into a clean kimono and arms her with sword and parasol, Lily braves the violent rain. The imagery of her walking into the storm, fragile yet determined, is haunting. She asks around, confirming Nanako indeed headed toward the treacherous mountain path to Suruga province. Despite the risk of monsters and deadly fog, Lily presses on, her heart set on finding her. Meanwhile, Nanako stumbles through Mount Tama, drenched and shivering. She rages at Lily in her thoughts, mocking her big-breasted foolishness and clinging to samurai pride. Yet beneath the harsh words, her body betrays her. Sadness, exhaustion, and an ache she refuses to name. Then the unthinkable thought strikes her. Do I really like that woman? Nanako panics, cheeks burning in the rain, torn between denial and an undeniable thrum in her chest. She tries to rationalize it as enchantment. In desperation, Nanako swears she was only following Lily out of samurai duty, never affection. To prove it, she vows, if her heart betrays her pledge, she'd rather fall into the hands of monsters or bandits that very night. The irony of that vow hangs heavy, a curse born from pride and confusion. Chapter 89, Lily Beheads the Serpent. Under torrential rain and dense fog, Lily pushes deeper into the ominous woods of Mount Tama. The forest looms like a living nightmare, thick with eldritch energy and shadows that could swallow even the bravest warrior whole. Yet she walks on, barefoot in wooden sandals, sword at her hip, heart trembling. Despite mastering the first stage of Genji sword style, Lily admits she's scared. She's powerful, yes, but still human. And what frightens her most isn't monsters. It's the loneliness. The realization that her path as a Blade Maiden is one of glorious isolation cuts deep. She recalls Sakura's words. A Blade Maiden is built to fight alone, self-reliant, lethal, and cursed, with a strength that distances her from others. Even with vassals like Nanako and Xiu, they can't truly stand beside her in combat. Lily doesn't want teammates. She wants someone to say, "Welcome home." Then it happens. A twisted, silent shape slithers before her. A giant Nozuchi camouflaged as a branch. It lunges. Lily reacts with divine speed, her Seiwa Tamashi flashing in the rain, slicing it midair from mouth to tail in a single motion. Gore sprays like crimson rain as its belly spills human bones. As the creature writhes, dying, Lily stabs again, this time not for death, but to harvest its soul. Her blade glows with red runes as she consumes the monster's anima, storing it in her magatama. The sensation of spirit power rushing into her body nearly overwhelms her. She closes her eyes and lets it flow. She notes that it's only a low-rank anima, but even so, it stirs something in her. Not just strength, but hunger. This is what makes a Blade Maiden dangerous. As she walks away from the twitching corpse, her silhouette swaying gently in the rain, something in her changes. Lily's not just becoming stronger, she's becoming someone else. Chapter 90. Encounter with Rokurokubi. Lily walks alone through a storm, soaked despite holding the Sakura parasol, her eyes cold and razor-sharp. Before her stand two grotesque humanoid figures, exuding the stench of rot and heavy eldritch energy, clearly no longer human. Despite their monstrous auras, Lily tries diplomacy, appealing to their lingering humanity and asking them to step aside. But instead of reason, the monsters, Yujiro and his female partner, respond with twisted laughter, craving her flesh like wild beasts. Suddenly, the woman's neck stretches like a whip, her head flying toward Lily with fangs bared. Lily recognizes them as Rokurokubi, yokai known for extending necks to hunt prey. The man joins in, both heads lunging at her from above and below in a terrifying pincer strike. Cornered by two elite-level demons, Lily instantly assesses her options. Her katana isn't ideal for stabbing, and she's outnumbered. Yet instead of panicking, she shifts into a powerful low stance, her hair and aura flaring with Demon Maiden energy. The storm around her pauses as she channels her strength. Then, with breathtaking speed, Lily unleashes a high kick that crushes the male's head into the mud, flattening his face with raw spirit power. With grace and precision, she follows up by impaling the woman's flying head straight through the mouth. Blood spirals in the air as Lily spins and cleaves the head in two against a tree trunk. After the intense clash, Lily notices her katana glowing with a faint red aura. Killing demons has enhanced its sharpness, a temporary boost thanks to the spirit tempering effect. The Sakura parasol explains that although Lily's sword is upgraded to grade 3, it's still not a cursed katana, so the power won't last. The revelation adds a new layer of danger and ambition, strength that tempts corruption. This moment leaves Lily intrigued. Her eyes widen with realization. If she could get her hands on a cursed katana, her powers could reach terrifying new heights. Chapter 91. Soul Pattern. The Sakura parasol shields Lily from the rain while explaining the truth about the cursed katana. Its soul patterns are born from a Blade Maiden's own resentful thoughts and fixations, making it a true demon sword. The patterns stabilize and strengthen the weapon, devouring souls to grow in power. Sakura elaborates, only during forging can a Blade Maiden imprint her soul pattern. Legends say swords might awaken patterns through endless bloodshed, but the odds are near impossible. Each Blade Maiden's soul pattern is unique, meaning no one else can truly wield her sword. Because of this, a Blade Maiden only has one chance to forge a cursed katana. If she fails, the blade is ruined forever. The process demands perfection, mind, body, and spirit in absolute harmony. Lily recalls Wasugi Rei once calling her Seiwa Tamashi a demon sword. Could it already carry a soul pattern? Sakura dismisses the idea, suggesting Rei only sensed leftover anima from Lily's battles. The realization stings. Her sword isn't special by fate, after all. She understands that if she wants true strength, she'll have to forge her own demon sword one day, a weapon bound solely to her soul. But the rare Tamahagani and Master Smith required are far beyond her reach right now. For now, she must focus on finding Nanako. Walking through the rain, Lily reflects. Resentment isn't what made her a Blade Maiden. Instead, it must be her unwavering fixation, her deep, unshakable love for her senior sister. Chapter 92. Monstrous Bandits. Akira and Hojo Motoshige, trudging through the rain with their men, stumble across a shocking sight. A young girl in soaked yellow clothes, battling a wild boar monster, and winning. Motoshige, bitter and humiliated by his own lack of spirit power, seethes at the sight. Akira suddenly recognizes the girl, Sayonji Nanako, daughter of Sayonji Kotoka. For Motoshige, it feels like divine luck. With Nanako, he could crush the Sayonji house's resistance. His resentment ignites. He doesn't just want leverage, he wants revenge. Nanako finally slays the boar and collects its anima, exhausted yet triumphant, only to be ambushed by two elite assassins, faster and deadlier than anything she could handle. In an instant, she's knocked out and tied to a tree, helpless before Motoshige's gloating eyes. Nanako pleads for freedom, even offering money, but Motoshige mocks her, savoring her fear. She realizes she's truly trapped in the hands of men, more dangerous than any monster. Meanwhile, Lily treks through the rain, checking her crude map. She believes Nanako has probably been lucky, safe from real danger, unaware that her friend's fate is already sealed. Unbeknownst to her, Lily's very scent lures monsters like moths to flame. Still, she whispers into the fog, "Nanako, where are you?" As dawn breaks over the mountains. Chapter 93, Lost in a Chaotic Night. The rain has finally stopped, but Lily trudges forward under a suffocating mountain fog, relying only on dawn's pale light to find her way. A creeping dread tightens in her chest. No clear threat in sight, but the unease is relentless. Suddenly, a more mundane urgency hits her. She needs to relieve herself. While it sounds trivial, Lily knows all too well how vulnerable a female samurai becomes during such moments. She scouts the area with her spirit waves, finds it safe, and hides behind a tree. Yet, the discomfort is layered, not just physical, but psychological. As someone who used to be a man, squatting still brings a faint, lingering dysphoria. Just as she finishes and returns to the trail, the sky begins to darken again, unnaturally fast. Within minutes, night falls once more, engulfing the world in shadow. Confused, Lily looks to the sky for guidance, only to hear a fearful warning from Sakura Parasol. Chaotic night. The chaotic night comes. Sakura explains that these chaotic nights have been happening for about 10 years. Multi-night stretches where daylight vanishes and the air thickens with negative energy. It's a terrifying anomaly, but during these events, the Blade Maiden becomes stronger. Still, Lily feels no relief. The disruption of nature's law isn't just ominous, it's possibly apocalyptic. She tries to continue on, but with no sun and no clear landmarks, she finds herself retracing her steps by mistake. Lost in a labyrinth of trails under a cursed sky, she spirals into confusion. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the mountain, Motoshige's group is camped near a cave, fully aware of the chaotic night, but unfazed. They've seen it before. Nanako, cruelly tied to a tree, remains their hostage. The fire flickers. Armed men stand watch, and Motoshige plots in silence. He demands ransom from Lady Kotoka, 50 firearms and 5,000 cane, but this is no fair trade. Motoshige plans to have her come alone under the pretense of a negotiation, only to rob her and assault her once she arrives. The horror here isn't supernatural, it's human. Motoshige isn't just holding hostages, he's orchestrating their humiliation and despair. As the chaotic night deepens, the darkness thickens with malice. Something ancient seems to stir beyond the veil of rain and fog. Chapter 94, Chase and Fear. The night is blacker than pitch as Lily races down the mountain path. Though the chaotic night enhances her powers, her thoughts aren't on herself. They're on Nanako, who's out there, vulnerable, and possibly in danger. She expands her spirit waves and hones in with spirit perception, sensing the mountain's energy, its trees, animals, and eventually, trouble. A dead demon boar lies by the road, freshly killed and unmistakably struck down by human hands. There are fist-sized dents and a stab wound from a tanto. Lily immediately recognizes the signs. Nanako did this. But there's more. Footprints, many of them. Small ones like Nanako's, and others much larger. The trail's chaotic, not like a monster attack, but a kidnapping. Then, a scream. A girl's cry slices through the air. Lily knows that voice. Nanako! She channels Genji sword style, spirit power surging through her legs, and dashes up the mountain trail with terrifying speed. Meanwhile, at a cave deep in the woods, Nanako is tied up, beaten, and trembling. Motoshige, drunk on cruelty and power, slaps her across the face for defiance. Blood drips from her mouth as she begs him to stop, offering her family's ransom. But he laughs. He never intended to honor the deal. Akira joins him, blaming the Saionji house for past slights. Their intentions grow darker. The ransom is merely bait. Motoshige plans to rob and violate Lady Kotoka when she arrives. Then comes the most disturbing moment. Motoshige smirks and offers Nanako to two of his vassals, the Arakawa brothers, to entertain themselves, as long as they don't kill her. Nanako breaks down, crying out and screaming for her mother as the silent, hulking men approach. Even some of the Hojo samurai can't stand to watch. They turn away in shame, but none move to intervene. Her sobs echo through the clearing, childlike, broken, and full of despair. And then, a white-clad figure walks into the clearing. She's beautiful beyond compare, her katana glowing red under a crimson parasol. Her steps are slow, graceful, but filled with purpose. She doesn't speak. Her presence alone cuts through terror like a blade through fog. The Blade Maiden has arrived, and someone is about to pay. Chapter 95. Crimson Eyes. Under the shadowy trees of Mount Tama, Lily approaches the enemy camp where Nanako is bound, her sword glowing crimson with rage. Two samurai circle Nanako with vile intentions, while Akira and Hojo Motoshige watch smugly by the fire. Lily folds her parasol, letting it float to her back, an eerie, almost divine sight. Akira recognizes her instantly, spitting accusations, while Motoshige decides she's too beautiful to kill and orders her captured alive. 3 martial monks rush her, aiming only to knock her out, but Lily's crimson eyes freeze them in place before her blade cleaves through their bodies like they're nothing. Panic sets in. More samurai charge, only to be cut down in a single devastating crescent arc, their bodies falling in halves. Even Akira and Motoshige are shaken, wondering if Lily is still human. The Arakawa brothers, elite warriors, finally move. Their twin attacks, one from above, one from below, are perfectly timed. Nanako, trembling and half-torn in shame, cries out for Lily to be careful. With impossible calm, Lily steps on one blade midair, parries the other, and strikes clean. One brother falls, the other goes berserk, only to be beheaded in a single flash of red light. His bamboo hat flies away like a symbol of his defeat. Akira and Motoshige are left paralyzed, sweating, unable to comprehend what just happened. For the first time, the arrogant Hojo heir feels cornered, facing a woman whose wrath has made her unstoppable. Chapter 96. Casual Stroll. Blood still dripped from Lily's katana, but her eyes weren't on Akira or the arrogant Hojo thug. They were fixed on Nanako. In her heart, Nanako and Shiyu weren't servants. They were family. Lily's vow was simple. No one touches her sisters. Thoughts of her senior sister Rhine pierced her like a ghostly ache. If only she had been this strong before. Yet now, even in the face of enemies, Lily advanced at a steady pace, like she was just strolling. The calmness in her eyes was scarier than any blade. Akira panicked, unable to grasp how Lily had grown so powerful in days. Motoshige, too, was unnerved. Wasn't she just a weak girl not long ago? They scrambled, begging for negotiations, spouting clan power and empty threats. But Lily didn't spare them a glance. Her fluttering hair, swaying kimono, and icy silence turned her into something untouchable, almost divine. She simply walked past them toward Nanako. Finally, at Nanako's side, Lily's sword slid back into its sheath. She touched Nanako's bruised face, her sleeve gently wiping away blood, adjusting torn clothes with tender care. Her voice trembled with quiet worry. Did it hurt? Nanako's tears betrayed her, yet she turned her face away, whispering, "It doesn't hurt." Chapter 97. Crimson Moon, Prison, / Lily kneels beside Nanako, carefully slicing her bindings. Her back turned, defenseless. For a moment, it looks like she's forgotten the danger still lurking behind. Motoshige and Akira seethe, their egos bruised. They can't stand being ignored, especially by a woman stronger than them. Meanwhile, from the shadows, a hidden Onmyoji prepares a confinement spell. Nanako sees it first. "Sister, watch out!" Too late. A purple talisman detonates, encircling them in glowing runes of spirit fire. Lily and Nanako are trapped, immobile, unable to move even a step. Lily tries to break the seal, but her power isn't enough. The old Onmyoji, cloaked in arcane confidence, launches spirit bullets at her. She parries, but each one explodes, tearing her clothes and draining her power. Still shielding Nanako with her own body, Lily is wounded and cornered. Her spirit power is running low, her defenses thin. Akira takes this as his chance, charging in with his golden club for a killing blow. But Lily's heart hardens. They had begged for mercy, only to betray her. The kindness she once clung to is gone. With no hesitation, Lily hurls her Sakura parasol like a javelin. It crushes a samurai in its path, before slamming into the Onmyoji, shattering his chest and killing him instantly. But Akira's attack is already mid-swing. Lily pulls Nanako into her embrace, shielding her with one arm, leaving only the other to defend. Akira laughs, thinking he's won. Until something shifts inside Lily. A breakthrough. Her spirit power ripples like wine in a still lake, the Genji sword style deepening within her. In that moment of crisis, she ascends to the second phase. Lily swings her katana with 1,800 can of force. A crimson arc cleaves through the night, and through Akira's entire body, splitting him clean in two. Even his enchanted club is cut like paper. The battlefield freezes. The samurai who had charged now drop their weapons in terror and run. Lily, her chest heaving, holds Nanako in one arm. Nanako, stunned, nestles into Lily's chest in awe and embarrassment. Motoshige stares in disbelief. His bluff is gone. He tries to pull the "my brother helped you" card. No use. As the confinement spell fades, Lily steps forward, eyes glowing crimson. She doesn't speak, just charges. Motoshige screams, lunging at her. One slash. The crimson light arcs again. His body splits cleanly at the waist, the top half flying through the trees while the bottom half remains frozen like a grotesque statue. The forest falls quiet. Only blood, broken magic, and Lily's righteous fury remain. And that was the Crimson Arc. A journey of power, guilt, and tenderness, where every drop of blood told a story. Lily didn't just fight monsters that night. She faced the part of herself she was afraid to see. If you were her, would you choose power, even if it meant walking alone? Tell me in the comments, because the next story we bring to life will be the one you choose. And if this journey stirred something in you, please give it a like. It really helps more people find these hidden worlds. Subscribe, so you don't miss the next chapter when it unfolds. Until then, keep your sword sharp, your heart open, and your reflection true. I'll see you beneath the next Soul Arc.